The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, happy Wednesday evening. I am Tasha Champion, your host of She is Shenomenal. I am the champion empowerment Shenomenal coach, teaching you always to love the champion you are. And I'm really excited for you guys to join me. If you have been here before, welcome back. If you are new, welcome and thank you for joining. You guys are going to get to see an interview today with the Core of You team, Kenneth and Bianca Page. If you've been around me, you know them, you've seen them at my events, and they are also the keynote speakers of my brunch this year, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But first, I want to share a little bit of a story with you guys that happened over this past weekend. I had to sing the national anthem as well as speak for one of our Relay for Life events. And afterwards, I get in my car and there's just all this clicking sound. Nothing is starting. Hey, Kenneth, glad you're joining. And my battery was like completely dead. Now, I was a little more than 2 hours from where I live. I was visiting with my aunt and uncle while I was in town. And when my battery died, I had to call AAA. It's pitch black outside. I mean, there's like no light inside. It's pitch black. And I called my uncle, and I just want to preface this with, he is my surrogate uncle, my surrogate aunt and uncle, I should say. And the first thing he did was say, okay, well, I'm going to come up there. Even though I had already called AAA, he's like, no, I'm going to come. It's dark. I don't want you by yourself. I want to be there when AAA gets there. Now, why am I sharing this? It's so significant for me because I have 4 blood uncles, 2 on my mom's side, 2 on my dad's side. And I cannot remember a time where they showed up for me in this way. And I know a lot of times there's so much family discord, but what I want you to really gather from this, because I'm not gonna lie, like my heart was really, really touched that he showed up for me and sat with me, and we were there for like another hour or so waiting for AAA, who never showed up, by the way. But sometimes, like when family is just all in disarray, God sends you the people that you need in your life. And I hear so many people always saying like, oh, well, you have to resolve this because it's family, or you have to honor and respect this person because they're family. Listen, toxic is toxic, unhealthy is unhealthy, drama is drama. Get around people who love on you. When you are a person of love, God will send the people in your life that's going to show up for you, that's going to be there for you, that's going to love on you. And that's what I want you to take from that. So to my Uncle Joe, thank you for showing up for me. You are my uncle sent by God, and I really appreciate you being there for me, and then getting up the next morning to make sure I got a battery and some oil in my car. So thank you so much. All right, that's the story I just wanted to share with you guys because it touched my heart, and I hope it touched yours too. And now, of course, I want to make sure that all of you ladies are smashing your boobs. I'm going to say that on every episode. I'm going to say that probably every time you see me. As a breast cancer survivor, I am an advocate for being proactive with your health. It is so incredibly important. And when women say, oh my God, but it hurts so much, listen, it's a quick smash. And if that smash can save your life, for you to be here for the people you love, the people that love on you, it is important not to delay it. It is important not to delay those doctor's appointments. Even just with like colonoscopies, and I know y'all don't like that, prostate exams, you don't like that, but it's important. But I talk about boobs, you gotta smash them. And once you smash them, head on over to, I love you too, Uncle Joe, head on over to the mammalchallenge.com and make sure you register for the Mammal Challenge, because we are coming up on the second annual Shenomenal Women's Brunch. This is where you need to be. Smash your boobs, register for the challenge, come to the brunch. And look, you guys get to meet my speakers. Again, we're talking tonight with keynote speakers Kenneth and Bianca Page of the Core View. My speakers are also Brisa Alfaro. You have to hear her story. Like, it is, oh Lord, just be there to hear it. Mika Morris is going to bring it. I'm telling you, like, I'm going to forget that this is my show, because I'm going to be all involved in everything that they're saying. They're coming with the fire, they're coming with the heat, but they're coming with intentional love to inspire you to move forward, to take action, to awaken the life that you are designed and meant to live. We cannot keep living this low level living when there's so much life and abundance available for us. So stop living small, show up to this brunch, get your ticket. And I'm telling you guys, we are running low because we are over halfway to capacity. So if you know you want to be in the building, if you know you want to hear the stories, if you know you want to be inspired, go to Shenomenal.com/brunch right now. Go get your, no, I'm lying. Don't go right now. Go after like the show, because you got to watch the show. Then go to Shenomenal.com/brunch and get your ticket. So I'm glad tonight you will get to meet my keynote speakers, two of my absolute favorite people in this world. They are my mentors, they are my family, and most importantly, they are a powerhouse Black love couple who inspires other couples to live their best life, giving premarital coaching sessions, marriage coaching sessions, and they're going to have an upcoming retreat as well. So without further ado, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you guys will be able to tune in to the interview that I had with Kenneth and Bianca Page, the founders of the Core of You, the community of restoration and enlightenment. We'll be right back so you can watch it. All right, here we go. Are you guys ready? Listen in, because they're going to give you some true, I like to call them Shenomenal gems. Other people call them nuggets. Other people call them tips and advice. But you're going to get a lesson on effective communication, which all of us really need. And I kind of felt attacked with some things that they said, but really it was just a time for me to check in with myself and say, okay, how do I get to work and make this better? So let's go ahead and listen in on this interview with Kenneth and Bianca Page. Okay, welcome. And we are here with Kenneth and Bianca Page. Welcome. Thank you guys for being on my show. First, before you say anything, Kenneth, I got to give a shout out to you because you are the first Henomenal guest.
All right, sounds good. That's what's up.
That I personally planned it that way, but if I was going to have a Henomenal man, it was going to have to be one of power, one of intelligence, and one who could really bring it. So there you have it. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So just tell us a little bit about the core of you and what it means, what you're doing with the core of you. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Well, I'll jump in here. Thank you for having us. So excited about the Shenomenal show. You are bringing some excellent content. I love everything I've heard in the prior episode. So shameless plug, go back if you haven't. So the core view, the community of restoration and enlightenment. We kicked it off. I would say 2017 is when it came into our spirit that we wanted to create a space for the unchurched, for people who knew they had a spiritual walk, but they didn't necessarily want to call it anything or be tied to maybe a denomination or a church group. Community is what you make it, like-minded spirits, like-minded people of restoration. We truly believe that you come here with everything you need in your spirit, and sometimes you need to be awakened to the things that are subconscious, that might have been buried, whether you believe in past life regressions or you just believe in hurt that kind of over time mutes out the things within you, that knowing that we all come here with, that purity, that core at your essence of who you really are as a spiritual being, having this human experience, and then of enlightenment. Like once your eyes are opened, or once you know something, you can't unknow it. So the more you build on that foundation, right, it's just like you start to illuminate and just become this spiritual being that can enlighten others and stay full yourself too. I mean, first we have to be able to help ourselves. So we created that together, and I'll pause for a moment and see what you want to add on top of that, babe.
No, I mean,
like how we kicked it off.
I think you hit it right on the head. In our relationship, we were kind of already doing it organically, as far as just coaching other couples, talking to younger people, some older people, some our same age, just talking them through relationship, giving them advice, sometimes a little life coaching, a little advice here and there, and just trying to inspire and encourage all around us that, hey, we're all going through it. Every day is not going to feel like, ice cream and peaches and sundae. So let's talk about it. And I was really driven as a male because we as men just do not like to talk. We don't. Women, I'm sorry, but y'all talk all day long. Y'all will talk all day long.
We reach our word limit. Yeah.
Y'all go way over the word limit, character limit, all that. Men just be sitting there like, yeah, no. So I wanted to represent that part of this equation and just let men know it is okay to talk. We need to talk. We need to let women know what we're feeling. We need to let other men know what we're feeling. We need to speak up, talk about it, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever's going on. We really feel like the greatest part that I always say about our relationship is, well, it's two things. It's our communication, first of all. Do we get along every day? No. Do we? Are we always arguing? No. But are we always getting along and everything going good? No. But we get through it through communication. And I like to add effective communication, because there's ways to communicate that's not always effective. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we really get through it through effective communication. That's one part. And then the other part was this. I always said in life, in a relationship, if you have a healthy relationship, the greatest part about it to me is that you do not have to face the world and all of its craziness and all of its problems by yourself. You have somebody to call. You have somebody to talk to. I love calling wifey, texting her, and just letting her know about something good that may have happened on my job, or happened that day, or maybe something that wasn't so good, she's the first person I'm calling. Like, can you believe what this such and such this did to the job? You know, or hey, guess what? I just got a promotion, or you know. So yeah, so that's why we do this with the core of you. Just
which you're saying it without saying it, we do have like a couples coaching component that we really launched heavily and kind of dug into that during COVID, because we feel like, wow, people probably need this more than ever, especially at the beginning of the lockdown. So in our own pain, we turn that into purpose in terms of like how we have something to say. People like you and our sister Danielle encouraged us to step out on our gifts at that time. True. So I want to thank you for that. And so we started a weekly, message on different topics that kind of birthed through COVID. Since then, we've paused. I think we want to kind of go through a rebranding and focus on retreats and whatnot. But that's what's to come. For now, we just walk in purpose, partner up with other people like yourself, our church family, and serve where needed and how needed.
Now, Kenneth, you talked about the communication piece of a relationship, but just life in general, that women tend to communicate a lot more, but you did preface it with effective communication because that is different. So my question is, when you guys both are doing couples coaching, and I know you guys do a lot of premarital coaching for couples that are preparing to get married, what's the one thing you help them see about communication that they may be missing? So people out that's listening, they might have that aha moment right now, like, oh crap, maybe I need to kind of do that. How do you support men in developing that communication muscle?
Well, I think one of the things that we really harp upon is taking away some of what society said a relationship should look like, or what marriage, or what society has said marriage should look like, or friendships, or anything. And just take some of those myths. Some of that stuff is just myths. Some of it worked maybe for our moms and our dads and our grandparents, but it's not working today. We're in a different time. We're in a different era. Communication is different. Social media is so many different things. So you have to, if you know that, and if you think about it, then we try to use that in our communication, and letting everyone know that, listen, it's not as difficult as some may have made it. And so I really go into the man and just be like, listen, man, you need to tell her this is how you feel. You need to speak up, because a lot of advice that I got from some older men was always, happy wife, happy life. And I'm okay with that, but I'm like, but what about my happiness, man?
Right.
Wait a minute. So I'm looking to be married to this person until, death do us part, as they say, right? And I'm never going to be happy. Just so actually, one of my sisters said one time, she said, happy spouse, happy house. And I said, oh, I'm taking that. I'm still in that. Now we both get it. And I mean, let's be honest, women are more nurtured in their youth to talk, to communicate. Young men are more nurtured to be quiet, be strong, be tough. Don't show your emotions. If you get hurt, suck it up, boy, and we have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. We have a 7-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old son. And our son is very in tune with his emotional side, as is our daughter. And he is not willing to speak. He's not afraid to speak up and to talk. And so I'm trying my best. And listen, it's not easy. It's not easy because I'm trying to break some of the generational things in me as well. I'm trying to put some of that stuff in me. I came from a very my upbringing was really tough. You know what I mean? I was loved. I had what I feel like one of the greatest childhoods in the world, but they didn't play either. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to break some of that though, where it's not always just yell first or quick to spank or something like that. Let's talk, let's communicate.
Right.
What's going on? My son, a little while back, he fell, and I could just see in his spirit and in his face, it hurt. And he looked at me and I said, you okay? And he looked and really tried to suck it up. And I said, come here, dude. Come here. No. You hurting, man. I know you hurting. I said, come here. So I rubbed him up and he just let it out and cried. I let him know it was okay. And I'm telling you, I think there are some grown men that need that too. I'm serious. I think there are some 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old men that just need a good hug. You know what I mean? I'm serious. They need
absolutely.
Sometimes it's just something about a great cry, man. A good cry, and you get done, and you got the ugly face, and you like, all right,
eyes all swollen.
Yeah, all right. You like, all right, let's go. I can face the world now. I got that out, So yeah, that's all. That's the part of it with the communication. Just really trying to get guys to see that it's okay. And you're not a punk if you do it. You know what I mean? You are okay.
Yes.
You are okay if you feel in a certain kind of way. And it's important to get it out and talk about it as quick as you can. And so sometimes in our sessions, I'll pull the man to the side and I'll go at the man. I may have sessions with just the man and I'll talk to him and listen, and I'm like, listen, and in front of them, oh man, come on, wait a minute. We're not.
Call them out.
Yeah, we really call them out because you know what? Because I had people in my life that called me out. And in the moment, I hated it, was ready to fight. But when I got past my ego and got past self, I was like, okay.
It was better.
You were right. I knew it was
right.
And I'd like to footnote that a little bit too, because one, men are typically resistant coming in the door to even have a coaching session.
Yeah.
But then once they get started, it's like we gotta shut them down and say, hey, next session we can cover that. So you would be, I feel like that shows that there's some pent up, as they say, demand, where once they have a safe environment and they don't feel judged, men do have a lot to say. So we kind of like get away from those stereotypes or those preconceived notions and like create the safe space. And then I think the other thing that we let couples know is that none of us took like unless you're a communication major or, that's something you do for a living.
Right.
That's not something that you like cover in your natural upbringing. You model how you saw it done, period. So we have to agree, right? So we have to come in the door recognizing that, just kind of honor that starting point and then say, we are here to show you how to be intentional with being effective and give them tools on how to actually communicate effectively. So
yeah, because it's not taught. It definitely isn't taught. And I've done things where I just repeated exactly what I saw my parents do. I had to apologize to my sons as they got older that I didn't allow them to be emotional. Everything was like, man up, quit crying, stop crying like a little girl, which then in turn, when they became teenagers and now they're hiding their emotions, now I'm like, no, you need to talk about it. Well, I just gave them two conflicting things. I told you to hide your feelings. I told you not to express yourself. And now I'm saying, hey, if you need to talk, let's talk. So now I'm like, ooh, I wish I could go back, but I can't. However, like you said, once you know better, you do better. And that's what I, continue to work on as a parent. So we have to take a quick break. But something that you said, Bianca, you talked about creating that safe space. And that's not just in relationships. That's also in parenting and in family conversations. So when we come back, I do want to honor that. And let's really talk about what does it mean to create a safe space for communication.
Okay.
Well, yes, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and I am talking with Kenneth and Bianca Page. They are the core of you, the community of restoration and enlightenment. And before break, Bianca touched on creating that safe space, like when they're counseling couples during premarital counseling, I should say. They teach their couples how to create safe spaces. So let's talk about that in relationships, but more so just in families, period, with children. How do we cultivate a safe space? What are some things that we can take away from this episode and start implementing in our own homes to create that space for conversation?
It may sound unfun, but you have to start with ground rules. So especially when we are there mediating, we say, okay, look, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to try not to, like, safe space is on, right? We are going to try not to overtalk one another. Mm-hmm. When someone has the floor, we want to encourage you to actively listen. Mm-hmm. So that means that you may be called upon to repeat back what you heard to make sure you actually heard it, right? And that also makes you pause, and it confirms that you're not just thinking about the next thought in response. There are times where it's going to touch on a heated point and someone has a lone point. So you may even have a piece of paper to just jot down a quick note so you can come back. But the point is, you're not interrupting, you're listening. And then just a little tip that we kind of share with people that makes them laugh. When you start to say the words never or always, pretty much egos come into the room. Yeah. So you can laugh and say, wait, always, never? Because since you're calling the person on what they're saying, because that typically behind that is either going to follow a you or I. I always do this. You never do that. So now we've moved into ego. We moved into accusation. So little tips like that to make you adjust and start to, it's really to become aware of what we're doing. And so the topic can cover anything, but we start there. Babe, you have something to add?
Yeah, I was, our grandmother, her grandmother lives with us, and she watches Family Feud a lot. And so we were laughing the other day because one of the questions was, which we talk about a lot. We asked, you know, how Steve already says, we asked 100 women. We asked 100 women this question. And the question was, when a woman says, we need to talk, and then was like, what do you think is coming next, right? And so a lot of times in relationships, and I talk to the women too, the women's side of it too, because a lot of times in my past relationship, when I would hear a woman say, we need to talk, I'm like, oh, Lord, I done did something
checked
wrong.
out.
I done messed up. Oh, she getting ready to complain about money. And I'm thinking in my head, did I hit something? I don't know. Did I not put the toilet seat down? What did I do that's going to happen for us? So we try to desensitize that too, you know, and also talk to each other that when I say, if I say we need to talk, maybe it's a session where I'm just going to compliment the work that you did this week. So it's not me just beating you up. Hey, we need to talk. Or you know what? And I tease her a lot because when we make mistakes, I say, hey, I need the same energy when I did that you had when I made that mistake. Now that I did good all week, I need the same energy, right? I want if you're gonna turn over tables when I do something wrong, I need you to do a backflip when I do something good or something. Yeah. You know?
Right.
Just desensitizing it and getting to that point. I mean, we have to talk. I mean, if you can't talk to the person, and I don't care what kind of relationship you're in, right? If you can't talk to the person and effectively communicate with the person that you're laying down with every night, I'm sorry, I don't know who else you should be doing it with if you can't do that.
Right.
Now, I understand we have best friends and sometimes we have mothers or fathers that we're really, really close with. And obviously they understand us and they get us. But there should come a point in time in your relationship where you should be able to talk to that person that you're laying down with, or that person that you call my friend, you know. And if you're not, then you really need to realize what's going on and really do some assessment on should I be labeling this person what I'm labeling them? Because maybe I'm giving them a label and they're not reciprocating with their actions. So that's about effective communication.
Yes, I definitely have experience with that. And reciprocation it's a big thing. If I am giving you this friendship, then I'm going to need it back. And I understand that everybody might not see eye to eye, but at least come to an understanding of what your friendship looks like so that I can identify it. Or maybe you need to identify what friendship looks like for me, because like you guys always talk about the different love languages. And if you are not speaking that person's love language, then it's not going to feel like you're loving them. So I love the fact that you brought up the reciprocity piece. And Bianca, I have to tell you, one of the things that I got from you is when you feel like you're getting ready to say something that you might not want to say, take a sip of water. So yeah, I actually do that in my work. Like if I'm dealing with a family and I'm like, let me take a sip of water before that comes out of my mouth. Yes. I love it.
I also want to just add on that safe place too. I think it's important to know that you're not going to be 100% every day. Right. I may not be, she may not be. So there may be days that you really need to communicate and understand that there are some days I may only be operating at 30%. So baby, I might need you to get that 70 for me. You know what I mean? Right. I might need you to get that 70 for me. And then there may be other days where, hey, you're not there. So if you're only operating on 30, then I need to try to step it up and get that 70, because we want to try our best every day to turn in 100%. And, turn it into just to life, to our children, to one another, to ourselves, to our families, whoever. You know what I mean? We want to try to turn that in 100%. So understanding that you're not always going to be at 100%. And are you going to be willing to take up the slack when your partner is not there? So that's
I want to add, I want to ask this as a question before we talk about you guys being my keynote speakers at the upcoming 2nd annual Shenomenal Women's Brunch. What do you guys, or how do you address when I hear it more so from women? I think men do it, but I don't hear it from them. So I got to just go with the women. When they say like, well, he should know. Like, so there could be something going on. It's like, well, he should know. How do you address that? Because we do have this thing like, well, he should know this is what I need, or he should know this is how I feel. What do you do with that? Well, he or she should know.
You want to start it with me?
Well, I mean, we talk, and I in the beginning, because I had made enough mistakes in past relationships and I had been through that enough. I said, and I told her in the beginning when we were courting, as they say, dating, when I was trying to woo her, you know what I mean? Yeah. When we up late at night talking on the phone, half asleep, talking to one another. I said it then, like, listen, I do not always know what you're thinking. Now, we have made it to a good place in our lives where we've had enough past. There are sometimes I can kind of read her mind or feel or pick up her vibe,
the
right?
Spirit, yeah.
I don't know. And we're going to spiritually pick up on one another. But I do not always know. Don't assume, just tell me. Don't assume, just tell me. And that's what I always say. And I also say, hey, listen, there's a certain way to present information to a person. There's a certain way you can say things to a man that's going to sometimes make him go back and he's going to act like a little child or a little boy. And then there's certain times that I may say something as a man to her that's going to cause her maybe to act like a little girl. So yeah, I think that's part of that safe place of knowing that I'm not going to always know. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier, the effective communication.
Right.
Tell me, and then I'll know.
Because you're technically, to say that, you are setting your relationship up for communication failure. Okay. And I think a common misconception, especially on the female energy side, is, well, it's not. It's not romantic. I don't want to have to tell him everything. I want him, that kind of thing. And obviously, I'm dealing with same-sex relationships, but I said that energy, whoever the energy is of the nurturer or the one, they want the other person that may not be as that to just kind of pick up by osmosis. But the golden rule, back to love language, is what you said. If I'm loving you the way that I want to be loved, and that's not the way you want to be loved, I'm going to miss the mark anyway. So unless you tell me, like, kind of give me the playbook, give me the inside baseball on your heart and on how to treat you, I'm just going to fumble my way through trying to figure it out, maybe doing some active listening, hoping I remember. But if you just tell somebody how to love you, now you have set them up for success and you. Yep. It's like, tell them how to love you. And it doesn't make it less romantic. It helps you guys kind of get to the point quicker. Don't make it hard. Don't hide the ball. We have enough going against us. So to me, that's just, once again, like a I would say almost like a myth that like something that people have just done and they think it's okay to do over time. Like, I just want him to know what to do, and it would be so romantic, and I don't want to have to tell somebody. But really, if you tell him and he sets it all out, whether he does it the next day or 2 months, 2 years, you are going to be just floored, because it's still his personal touch on how he executes, right? Or she executes it.
Yes, and I heard Stevie Wonder say one day, always tell people how you feel so they can never use the excuse, I didn't know.
Didn't know. That's so true, man. That is.
And I have lived by that since then. I will tell you how I feel, good or bad or indifferent. And you can never use the excuse, oh, well, I didn't know she felt like that, or I didn't know that's what she was thinking.
Right.
You know, I'm an open book. This is what I feel.
Yeah.
And one point, now that we're talking about this, I think timing is key. Back to something you said earlier when he said, I may not always be at 100%. I think we do have to read the room, so to speak. And what I mean is, you just got home from a long day. I'm not going to have the most important conversation of our relationship with you at that moment and expect you to be actively listening at your best, because to do that is going to irritate you and me when you're not responsive, not engaged. Now I've set us up to have a bicker session because you're not at your best. So, and sometimes we need to tell somebody, I'm not at my best, but honor them and their request by saying, can we do this? Can we talk about this another time? I know it's important to you. I can tell, because, you know, you said it as soon as I walked in the door, but I have had such a long day and I really want to be present with you. That takes some extra energy, but that's what we mean by that effective communication. Like, you have to go to that next level. Just when you think you're the best, you got to go to that next level. And you even have to admit when you're wrong, because there's been some times I popped off or he popped off, and I'll be like, you know what? I am just not in my. Let's do this again another time.
Let's take a time out. Yeah.
I'm putting
a little attacked right now, though. I gotta say, I feel a little attacked right now, but you're ministering to my spirit right now, because I am that person. Like, if I want to talk, we gonna talk. I don't even think about your day. I don't think about this minute. I think about, this is what I want to say, and I want to say it right now. So yeah, I'm glad that you said that. Feel a little attacked, but this is how we up level, because again, once you know better, you do better. So now that you said that, I get to be mindful of that when I need to have those hard or deep conversations that maybe this might not be the right time for that person.
Yeah. Okay. And it goes back to creating a safe space, because timing is about creating a safe space. And sometimes if we're in session and we can tell, okay, energy's off, this is not right, we either have to reset the energy or regroup or schedule for another time, because you're just not going to get anywhere if, you know, something's off. Like, if you're just too off to really be a participant, like a mindful participant.
Right. I got you. I definitely, I agree. I can't say that I practice it, but I agree. And now that I've been awakened to that, now I know. So speaking of awakening, we have the second annual Shenomenal Women's Brunch coming up July 9th in Fontana at the Hilton Garden Inn. Many of you know Bianca is one of the Shenomenal women co-authors. Her chapter is absolutely amazing, where she journeys back. She takes a journey back to understanding herself as a child and how what she experienced as a child played out into her adult life, and how she was able to go back and hug that little girl and say, it's okay, you're safe now. So I'm giving that plug because we do need to sometimes understand there's a little girl inside of us that needs the adult version of us to say, you're safe, you're happy. So our first brunch was about the book. And now this one is all about awakening your Shenomenal and Henomenal life. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about that for a few minutes, because I'm so happy and honored to have you guys as my keynote speakers, and I specifically wanted you guys to do this together. That was very important to me for this brunch. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll talk about that.
Pyro Media Network is a proactive network focused on providing innovative space for content creators and entrepreneurs. PMN is dedicated to giving its viewers a diverse entertainment experience while helping content creators elevate their production, engagement, and overall branding. To date, PMN has reached over 1 million viewers and listeners internationally, produced over 72 successful shows with high ratings and fanfare, and has housed over 135 content creators, brands, and businesses through entertainment and consulting services exclusive to Pyro Media. Pyro Media Network is a space that makes you feel at home. So if you or someone you know wants to make an impact, then contact PMN by visiting www.pyromedianetwork.com, and we will take your production to the next level.
Okay, we are back. We're talking to Kenneth and Bianca Page. We're going to wrap this up and talking about the upcoming brunch. They are keynotes. So let's dive right in. We don't have much time, and we're not going to give everybody all of the goods, because that's what you get when you come to the brunch. But talk a little bit about, what does it mean to awaken your Shenomenal or Henomenal life? What does that mean to open up and just live out loud?
Well, first off, be open. When you know that I don't want to be cliche, but when you're ready to take it to the next level and be honest with yourself that you're ready for something different, there's like an urging in you, an uncomfortableness with the status quo. That is an indicator that something is about to be birthed, awakened, up level. And as a matter of fact, I can compartmentalize. There's areas in my life right now that I know that's happening. There's like some churning inside. Okay. And then for me, I get spiritual messages from other places, but I'm not going to go into that. So first, you got to recognize the signs of being ready, or that you're about to be awakened to something. Yeah.
Man, I mean, I just think that it's crazy in life that we walk around alive, but so many people are still dead on the inside.
Wow.
So many people have their eyes wide open, but still can't see. You know, so that awakening is an awesome feeling. But as she was saying, it's something pushing at you. You know, it's something really pulling. It's something really, really getting at you. In animals, they call it instinct. And in humans, we usually call it consciousness. It's something that's pushing on that consciousness in you, that's really telling you there's something bigger, there's something better, there's something more out there that's calling for you. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. And you sitting around saying, no, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's waiting on you. So you just have to really be awakened to that feeling on the inside. I like the Pyro Media. I love that little fire symbol that they have. That's that awakening, that bright light. When you are in a room full of darkness, I don't care how big the room is, you will find, even if it's a light that's as big of a safety pin, you'll find it. You'll find that light and you will be attracted to it. So why not be that light? Why won't you be that light? And do it right now. Don't put it off tomorrow. Don't put it off for next year. Start right now. Be awakened into what you were called to be and who you were called to be. And don't allow your past to dictate what you've been called to be for in the future.
Yeah, because a lot of times our past is what helps us awaken.
Yes.
And I think because we're so conditioned to leave the past in the past, we don't understand how to use that past to be a part of our awakening.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
you're listening right now and you're stuck there. You want to be at the brunch because we are going to really unpack how your past plays a part in supporting your future.
We often talk to people about standing on their story and not in it, because a lot of the things that happen in their past, they operate from within that feeling, that emotional feeling. It's a part of you. I'm not saying just negate it and leave it away, because it's a part of you. Part of you is who you are. But if you are able to find a way to stand on it and really mean to stand on, so all of that pain, turning pain into purpose, hurt into love, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, even it, standing on the story is where you really want to be. You don't want to stand in it. You really want to try to rise above and offer the best version of you from that place. And that's how you become awakened, really.
Yeah. So we want to start people with getting comfortable with just that. That's the starting point, not pushing it down, not shutting it out, drowning it out. Like, okay, let's be open.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Like, I'm so excited. I'm going to be sitting at the brunch forgetting that it's like a champion empowerment production. I'm going to be sitting there like, oh, did y'all just hear that? Take notes, write it down. So I'm super excited. And, you guys know, everybody else is going to find out. You guys are like not only family, but you are my spiritual mentors. I come to you guys all the time. I give you guys dates for 100 things a year that I need you guys to be a part of. And you guys always show up for me. And I appreciate you so much. I appreciate the fact that you guys are going to be my keynotes. And I am going to also make sure that I continue to push you guys, because I am ready for people to experience the Core of You relationship retreat. They need it. You are needed. What you guys offer is needed. So, other than being at the brunch, which all of you guys should get your tickets and be at the brunch, how can people reach you guys? How can they follow you guys and find out what you're doing?
Well, we do some regular inspirational posts on Instagram and Facebook at the COREOF the Core of You. And we also have a website, thecoreofyou.com, where you can submit prayer requests, connect with us, buy our book from any of the co-authors, and just partake in some past programs we've done that are recorded on there. And that's a good way to stay involved with us. I would say the other thing is to sign up for our mailing list, and so you can stay in touch, so we can tell you when we're doing things. And we are available to partner, speak, do one-on-ones, one-to-many in spiritual and relationship transformation. We just want to help people bring out the best of them. And my husband's really good with, a lot of times we'll start with couples and then have to break off into individual coaching sessions, because you can't come into a relationship and be the best version of yourself if you're still working through something on your own. That's like a block. So we're just here to help support people and learn ourselves, right? Push ourselves.
Absolutely. We just invited anyone to be a part of our community, and we would love to be a part of yours.
That's right.
No religious, holdbacks or setbacks, any of that. We're just about being spiritual, being authentic, being true to yourself, and really, taking a hold of life and getting the best out of it.
Well, thank you guys so much for being my guests. Kenneth, shout out to you for being the first Henomenal guest. Get to know their faces, because you are going to see them quite often on She Is Shenomenal, because they have so much to offer. And I definitely want to have you guys back, because I want to have an open conversation about the difference in having a relationship with God versus religion. And I want people to really understand that if you watched the show last week, you got a taste of what happened to me in the grocery store. So you guys stay connected. Make sure you are following Kenneth and Bianca Page at the Core of You. And thank you guys. And get your tickets. You got to come see them in person. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Oh my God, did you guys enjoy that? They dropped so many Shenomenal gems and nuggets and tips and advice and just a great conversation about how to really open that door to effective communication. And if you did not see in the chat, Bianca posted that attend the brunch because they are going to be giving away a session. There it is right there on the screen. They're going to give away a couples coaching session, either for yourself or one that you can gift. So make sure you're at the brunch to be able to hopefully win, because I'm telling you, it'll be a session like never before. All right, we're coming to the end, but before we go, I have to shout out some Shenomenal graduates in our Shenomenal Spotlight today. That's always important. All right. It's the month of June, and I want to just keep shouting out some beautiful Shenomenal graduates. And this week, we are shouting out Miss Tania, who graduated from kindergarten. She's headed off to first grade. And shout out to Tania again, because she's in a swim class, and she's like jumping hurdles over her age group. Like, I think she's down with the older kids. So you go, Tania. You are such a Shenomenal little girl, soon to be young woman. Congratulations to Lexi, who just graduated from middle school. She's headed to high school. And y'all, this girl has already made the varsity cheerleading squad. So go, Lexi. We are cheering you on. And finally, to Mackenzie, who just finished graduating from high school. You see that she has a baby. It did not stop her. She still pushed through and graduated on time, got her diploma, and she's headed off to some incredible things in life. So shout out to all of my Shenomenal graduates. If there's somebody you want me to shout out, please make sure that you send me an email, tasha@shenomenal.com. All right, we're at the end of the show. I will see you guys next week. We're going to be talking to Mika Morris all about self-love, self-awareness, and she's going to mention what she'll be talking about at our upcoming brunch. So get your tickets. I'll see you guys next week. Remember, you are Shenomenal, and since today, also Henomenal. Bye, guys.